In 1975, he directed Jaws. In 1978, he directed Close Encounters of the Third Kind. In 1981, he directed Raiders of the Lost Ark. And now, Steven Spielberg brings us E.T., the Extra-Terrestrial. We will witness the arrival, the search, the desertion, the fear, the discovery, the friendship.
I'm keeping him.
The secret, the love, the warning, the signal, the mystery, the danger. The intrusion, the wonderment, the enchantment, the hope. The connection has been made. Universal Pictures presents Steven Spielberg's E.T., the Extra-Terrestrial.
So welcome to a brand new edition of Kdog'S Movie of the Week. I know I hadn't posted a few in the past couple weeks, but hey, I'm back, and I thought, what a better topic to talk about than E.T. the Extra-Terrestrial. Because I know I did a video about a year ago when the E.T. Blu-ray came out, but I don't think I really talked about some of the things I talked about why it's my favorite movie of all time, but I didn't really talk about some of the things that I have acquired since then, throughout the years. And plus, there's one addition to that I just happened to pick up. It's all about the movie, and I'll explain what it is. Of course, some people already have this, but it's new to me. But I'll eventually explain what's going on. First of all, I got to go back to late 1980s. Actually, that was the first time I ever saw E.T. I saw it on VHS for the first time. I was too young to see it in the theater. I was not even born yet, so when it originally came out, and it came out again in 1985, and for a brief re-release. However, still was not old enough to see E.T. play on the big screen until 2002, when they brought out the 20th anniversary re-release with all the CGI redo. But some of the things I wanted to talk about, I did not see it until it came out on home video back in 1988, I believe. And matter of fact, I'm going to look up the home video commercial to that, where they had a special offer from Pepsi. So let's take a look at that.
To announce that E.T. has come home on video cassette. And Pepsi is offering a special $5 rebate with the purchase of an E.T. video and Pepsi.
Now, that was a part of the original campaign that I was a part of because that was the first time I ever saw E.T. I had some relatives that purchased it on VHS, and there was a rebate with Pepsi, and that you can get several offers. But I don't know why this is my favorite film, to be honest with you. I just think it really connected that it changed a whole generation of movies because, yeah, I guess you could say there was a lot of spin-offs and a lot of rip-offs throughout the years. Matter of fact, in the 80s, you look and that there was a lot of E.T. rip-offs and references, unofficial references that they couldn't use. But well, I'll just go ahead and share with some of the things that I've accumulated because I really do enjoy this film. First off, I'm going to start way back in 2002. I don't have my VHS copy with me. It's since worn out. It's actually a kind of a bootleg, but I did witness E.T. through various other formats. I did eventually see the movie in the theater in 2002. This explains this release right here. I'm keeping this because this is just for sentimental reasons that it has the 2002 release in it with the CGI redo. Matter of fact, it's that version right there. However, this version did also come with the original 1982 release. Now, I stuck this in here because I was able to find on YouTube the Laserdisc making of documentary. That has yet to appear on any other format in the full uncut version. So I was able to find that, download it, burn it to DVD. But let's look at some of the other artwork that's on this DVD. Like here's the back. Yeah. And here's the back to that. This edition is long out of print. Of course, they replaced it with the new 2012 edition DVD for the 30th anniversary. But for the longest time, the 2002 version was the only version that was available, and it is now out of print. Here's the insert to the 2002 original DVD release. And here, of course, is a little bit about... spilling my water everywhere. Here's a little bit about the 2002 edition. But yeah, here's the 2002 2-disc limited collector's edition. Unfortunately, I do not have the ultimate gift set, which is even more deluxe. Let me slip the making of E.T. back into that set. Now, we fast forward to 2012. Best Buy puts out, the Digibook edition for the 30th anniversary. Here's the back. And of course, the digital copy slips out. Here is the inside, with the shot of Elliot walking out to the tool shed in the back. And it's just filled with nice little information about... this is an introduction by Drew Barrymore that she wrote. Here's some brief table of contents and cast and crew. And it talks about a little bit about their cast bios and all that. We'll feature on here creating an iconic film. But what I don't get is this is the 2012 Blu-ray release. They used the original 1982 release. But you see this picture here? Actually, this is the 2002 ILM CGI redo. I don't know why they couldn't take from this, which also talks about some of the legacy and all that. And this is neat. The letter that George Lucas wrote Spielberg after E.T. became the #1 film rental at the time. And of course, I can't put it back in. We'll take a look at the back, which has the DVD copy, of course. There we go. And it has the spaceship taking off. How cool is that? Now, I'm going to pause this video for just 1 second because I just forgot something. So, I'll be back. Okay, I have returned because I have managed to forget the CD soundtrack. Yes, they reissued the soundtrack for the 20th anniversary edition, but they didn't really do too much to the soundtrack. There was no altering of that. Just a few new scenes, but the soundtrack's the same. There's the back to it. I, of course, played it so much that I broke the case here, so let's start with the disc itself, which is just the Amblin logo with the E.T. written down there. And of course on the inside just has outer space. On the back, on the inside of the disc art. And then here on the CD insert there's the poster shot. In the back there's the credits. When you open it up, there's some shot flying over the moon. And in here there's a complete interview with Laurent Bouzereau interviewing John Williams. Now that is also found on the Blu-ray and the Ultimate Disc set version, that special feature where he talks about the score of E.T. and you see a little bit of background, not background, but behind the scenes of scoring the film. I believe it was scored at MGM scoring stage. Now we get into some more of the rarity items I have. First off is the 2002 reissued storybook read by Drew Barrymore. I do have this on YouTube, and I'll post the link in the description about where you can actually listen to this in its entirety. And it came with both a CD and a cassette, but I got rid of the cassette and just used the CD. And of course there's actually some pictures from the film. Actually uses the real dialogue from the film. Kind of go through this quickly. Also, this has, the CD is an enhanced CD, so you can actually listen to it on your computer in these, and it has a completely different set of images. And this was released by Walt Disney Records, aka Buena Vista. Just go through these quickly. Yeah. There's that, and then there's the back on directions on how to install the software in order to view it on your computer. And here's this what the CD looked like. Just a regular CD. Kind of a cartoon version of the moon with saying Buena Vista Records on the description, because this is a Universal property. And of course on the spine there you see E.T. Now this one is kind of a treasure. It's the Michael Jackson narrated, produced by Quincy Jones storybook album of E.T. the Extra-Terrestrial on vinyl. There's also a cassette version of this, and if you poke around eBay, you may be able to find some of these laying around, but they go for a hefty price. However, I found this in a nostalgia store that was selling old CDs, records, and tapes, and couldn't resist picking this up. So we have the record itself, picture of E.T. and Michael on the front, and of course the same things on the other side. I'll put it back in its sleeve so I don't lose it. Now, you may be wondering, does it come with the book? Absolutely. Matter of fact, I'm going to set this down for now. Some artwork here by Drew Strutzman, I think is his name. Legendary poster artist who drew up a bunch of these poster arts for movies and things like that. Of course, there's a little note here telling what E.T. is about. Has a picture of Michael and E.T. And of course there's the album credits. Some of the pictures from the film. Some of these actually this contains some pictures that are not even in the movie. Like these are obviously, but there's one little picture right here that's from a deleted scene, and I can't figure out when it was supposed to be, because obviously it's at the kitchen table and it's a completely cut scene from the movie, because obviously you don't see that conversation in the film. And you read everything that you can read along with it. Most of these pictures are in the film. Like I said, there's a few that aren't. I'm trying to find one that really isn't. But what really, that's pretty much the only one. And of course the back has when the spaceship blasts off, it leaves a trail rainbow. But wait, this is not over yet, because you may be wondering, this came with a poster. Where's the poster? Well, it's here. It's in rough shape, mind you, but it's here. Intact. Just barely. As you can see, sorry about the glare, there's the famous E.T. and Michael poster. It's a little roughed up, but it's here. Now, here's the last thing, and this is the thing I really wanted to talk about, and this was really enjoying it. I'm still reading through it, but if you have the Ultimate Gift Set, you have this book. Because Universal, in the 30th anniversary of the movie, they thought that they would do a proper release of this just by itself. And I don't think the book in the Ultimate Gift Set is as big. And I mean height and width. It's got the same number of pages. It's the same exact thing. I mean, if you have this. But it's the reissue of the book E.T. the Extra-Terrestrial, from concept to classic, with introduction by Steven Spielberg and the complete screenplay by Melissa Matheson. And there's just so much in here. I mean, it's talking about the pre-production, the casting, some publicity photos, like there was all kinds of publicity photos like this. I mean, obviously that's a rare one. I'm trying to find one here that everyone's seen. Of course, there's this. I mean, Spielberg himself did several screenshots. And talks a little bit about the ride. Yeah, this is the one I was getting at. The variety picture. Yeah, it talks about everything from the shooting of the film, the pre-production, the post-production, even there's a whole section on here devoted to ILM, about the work they did on the film. And it even talks about the 2002 redo. Like example, there's a whole segment here just on them building the spaceship. And there's one story in here I'd like to share. It just talks about some of the stories that went on behind the scenes. One of the things that it talks about here is how nervous Spielberg was, because Spielberg at that point was on the brink of becoming a has-been director, because he had two major successes in the 1970s. He had Jaws and he had Close Encounters. Close Encounters were his big hits. However, with 1941, which was released in 1979, that became disastrous. And when he was hired to do Raiders of the Lost Ark, everybody was saying that was a good movie because George Lucas was involved. Well, as time will tell, it was because of Spielberg. But there was a story that Spielberg shared when he took the film to its premiere in Dallas, Texas. And it talks about, in this book, he talks about how some bad things were happening. He was so nervous because 1941 he also took to this theater. He took Jaws and he took Close Encounters. He took all his films to this theater in Dallas, Texas to premiere them. And he always had good luck. Except for 1941. And he took E.T. to this theater in Dallas. But he said everything that could go wrong went wrong. He said we had to wait as we got off the plane in Dallas. We saw the carriers. He said that they saw the carriers of the baggage. They broke open one of the film canisters by accident, and the film was rolling all over the tarmac. And he said, that's the sign of where we're headed, folks. But then when the film played, he had huge success. It became a phenomenon. And as you can see, it became the highest grossing movie of all time at the time. And in here it talks about some of the stuff that they had, like the Reese's Pieces, some of the toys, lunch boxes, novels, Christmas decorations, even a segment about the E.T. Adventure ride at Universal Studios. But yeah, it is I mean, if you don't have this, if you have this in the Ultimate gift set, it's a good pickup. If you don't, I encourage you to pick up this book. And you're a fan of the movie, do pick this up, because there's a lot of stuff in here trivia that they don't talk about on the documentaries. And like they said, it does come with a full published version of the screenplay. And it's not just the dialogue. It's like all the actions and so forth. I don't have a page that has that. It just has dialogue. Well, let's see here. Let me see if I can read a little bit of it. Some of the dialogue here and some of the... Well, I gotta find a good page enough to do this. Well, like example, it says, this is the scene where... actually, yeah, let's go back here. Sorry about this, folks. I'm just looking around. Okay. Interior, garage, night. Elliot and Michael holding a light, looking around the garage. Elliot holds a pair of shoes as Michael examines a table of usual garage junk. Elliot throws the shoes down and moves towards Michael. Michael, guess we just grab anything that looks like a machine, that we can make a machine out of it. Elliot, what would make a radar? Michael, how the hell do I know? You're the genius here. You have absolute power, remember? I found him. He belongs to me. Yeah, and that's the scene that the boys are in the garage. They're looking for just things that E.T. can make his communicator out of. But yeah, this week's movie of the week, good old E.T. the Extra-Terrestrial. And I do encourage you to pick this book up. I mean, it's just awesome, this book. I mean, some of the stuff that's in it. I mean, even some behind-the-scenes photos. Like, here's all the kids that were on the set. Like some of the stunt kids and the teenagers. One of these kids actually was in the E.T. suit. He had no arms. He had arms, but he didn't have legs. And he did the scene where E.T.'s in the kitchen drunk.
Well, I got into this discussion, but I forgot one major thing. One major thing that I forgot to mention in my collection, what I do have of E.T. memorabilia. How about this 2002 poster for the 20th anniversary edition? Yeah, I know it's the 20th anniversary edition, but you know what? This is a nice thing to have. The mystery, the suspense, the adventure, the call that started it all. Yeah, there we go. And of course, if you look here, we see the number 20th in the glow. Yeah, with never before seen footage, enhanced visual effects, and newly remastered soundtrack.
And it's just good stuff. But from me to you, see you later.